Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I am Carol Roth. I'm the founder of the W Club, and I am here to kick off our first doll release for 2022. Woohoo! So great to see you all. I'm seeing hellos from everywhere, from Melbourne to Kazakhstan to New York and every place in between. So we're so excited that you could be here with us today. Three exciting new dolls to reveal. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you all in the chat. Very excited for today, very excited for this club year. So thank you for being back with us. Before we get into the dolls, as always, I have my little housekeeping. We have a ton of new members again this year. So welcome to the new members and welcome back to our returning members. We did have a little orientation yesterday, which was super fun. So people got a little bit of the feel. But if you are new or if you forgot, this presentation is not shareable. So do not take screenshots, do not take anything, but don't worry, we'll send you the information in an email after. So you will have all of that, all the goodies and all the details that you need. And just remember, and this will be on the emails too, that there is a confidential period. So I know you're going to be really excited when you see these beautiful dolls, but you have to keep that confidentiality. So don't be talking about it in groups and to your friends, just in the W Club forum during that confidentiality period. I also want to mention, and it's great again that we've got all these wonderful comments coming through. We are really trying to create an amazing experience for everybody as always. And so we just want to remind everyone that, not every doll that's going on or going to be released during the year is going to be released today. It's just a handful. So they may not be your favorites or they may not be for you, but just be kind with the tone, to the designers, to the other folks who are in the chat. We do have the chat on a delay, which is being moderated so that people don't keep asking sort of the same questions or saying the same things over and over again. You can just put it out once and we'll try to get to it. And I will ask you every once in a while, somebody comes through who is a troll. Please just let our moderators handle that, because if you respond back to them, then instead of cleaning up one post, then all of a sudden they have to clean up 20 and it makes it harder to, kind of keep on top of the rest of the chat. So be good, be kind. We're super excited for that. Yeah, I think that's kind of the basics. So I am very excited to bring in our first special guest. Are you guys ready for this? Woo! Let us bring in our first special guest, Mr. Mark Tinkey. Hi, Mark.
Hey everybody. Hey, Carol.
Hey, it's so nice to see you. And it looks like we've got a brand new environment behind you with gorgeous decorations and wallpaper. What you got going on there, Mark?
Yeah, so I moved in. I bought a new house with my mom. My mom moved in with me, so that's fun. We moved in December. So this is my new studio. I have my own, like, my dolly studio now, and I put up my wallpaper, which I love. I'm kind of living my like peacock fantasy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And then I have my like doll. There's like jeans back there, and there's Trixie Mattel wig picture from my friend Joshua McKenney. He did that. It's like a paint pen. Yeah. So, and then my deer head, which I love. It's my deer head with the flowers. Like I told my mom the other day, that's how I would put a deer head on my wall. Is like
all decorated and pretty.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous.
yeah.
It's gorgeous. We have so many new members this year who are meeting you for the first time. So do you want to just quickly introduce yourself and talk about what lines you work on?
Yeah. So my name's Mark Tinkey. I've been with Integrity for I think 6 years now. I don't remember. But anyway, I've been collecting a lot longer than that. So it's all blurred. And I am a sample maker and a designer. So sample wise, I work on a lot of poppy stuff. So and what that means is David Buttery designs it and then sends me either a technical sketch or a picture or drawing or whatever of what he wants, and then I create the pattern and the first sample that gets sent to the factories. So I do a lot of that for Poppy. And then I design Misaki. I just took her over again this year. So you just saw my first one coming back to the line, which was 80s Girl Misaki, which finishes up the series that David started designing. So I was super excited about her. I love her.
And let me just tell you, everybody, that the comments in the forum were amazing. I loved her. There was a
Great.
very kind of like Lisa Frank 80s girl vibe that reminded me of my childhood.
Ding,
So
ding, ding.
just absolutely loved her.
I am from the age of Trapper Keepers as well. So I I remember those things and those 80s girls that, where I grew up, nobody looked like that, but everybody wanted to look like that. So
we tried really hard. That was the holy grail. And then like when we put it together, it was kind of a mess, but we tried really hard.
Because the kids have to remember that in the 80s, you did not, you had the mall. You didn't have the internet to go find whatever you were looking for and what you needed to like duplicate a look like that. You couldn't do
or a
like,
tutorial on like how to do it or
how to crimp your hair,
like you're
right?
just like or blue eyeshadow.
Like,
you
I
just
bought this
throwing
at
it on.
Kmart. Now I'm gonna figure it out. I hope I don't burn my hair off. Like, right? So yeah, so it's sort of it's an 80s fantasy and a love letter to the 80s.
We love fantasies.
Yeah, speaking of fantasies, and this year I have I started last year and then they've carried over. I designed the comeback collection for the new fantasy, and David Buttry and I have a line that we're working on together that is going to be debuting. So hopefully this year.
Super exciting. Lots of good stuff. Well, as we mentioned, fantasies and the fact that you designed for new fantasy, let's get right into it. And before we reveal anything, for people who are new this year or may not remember your inspiration for the overall collection, can you just give us a macro reminder of what your vision was?
Yeah. So, excuse me. The theme was Coven Couture. So what I wanted to give everyone was my version of glamorous witches. And for me, that was very much fairy tale, sort of evil queen type witches that are, like if they were in a movie, they would be everybody's favorite character and everybody would want their clothes. And that was my take on it, was making them, kind of upping the fashion factor on like a witch character, because I always loved that growing up watching movies. When there was a glamorous witch, I always thought that was pretty spectacular. So I love all that stuff. So that's where this collection came from, the inspiration, and just sort of living out those fairy tale fantasies of the glamorous witch.
Well, the first two have been just sensational and obviously have had a lot of beautiful detail. Before we reveal the next one, tell us the specific inspiration for this doll that we're about to see.
So I wanted to give, this one started with the face and the skin tone, and then I wanted her to just be, I don't know, it's hard to explain it without giving too much away, but I wanted her to be the sort of, in a way, quintessential, what I picture of a gothic, glamorous witch character. And so, because I was, there's variety in the line, there's dolls of color, but I did want to have one that was the super pale kind of ethereal, don't mess with me because I'm gonna poison some fruit and whatever. Not that she's like specifically the evil queen, but, those kind of inspirations came in, and I wanted her to have sort of, they all kind of have a botanical element in them, which is interesting. The first one had the skulls in the embroidery. The second one had the birds. So that's also a kind of a through line that's gone, because I always think of witches and fairy tales and nature. They're always have some castle or cottage in the woods, and it's vines and thorns and roses, all of that imagery. So
amazing. All right, so are you guys ready to meet this gorgeous, maybe slightly evil, but very glamorous girl? I think we are. So let's unveil if we can. the gorgeous Scarlet Hex Anya. Oh, I
I
just
love her.
love her. All right,
Thank
so
you.
tell us a little bit more now that we could actually see her and you're not teasing us anymore. Tell us a little
Right.
bit more about this Anya.
So this is Anya, who I love that sculpt. I think she's really, I just think she's beautiful. I think she has a really classic look to her. And she's in the porcelain skin tone. So she's like pasty white, pale, which I also love with the black hair. She kind of gives me like a vampire Snow White kind of vibe, like um
Mm-hmm.
and then her gown is obviously it's red. It's red netting with embroidery over a red satin, and then she's got this gorgeous drape. But the kind of the inspiration behind that was like the roses, and it's the flower that brings you in because it's beautiful, but then don't get too close because she's got thorns.
Yeah.
So all of her jewelry is themed to look like vines with thorns on it. They're not in this picture, but she has two
We'll get
bracelets.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's all. And then she's got this sort of floral vine and leaf embroidery that goes all over the dress, and you can't. It's hard to see them, but there's tiny rhinestones, dozens of them, all over the dress. Yeah. So I don't know. I just love her. I think she's got a really cool vibe. It's like this petals are kind of swirling around her and forming her dress. That was the thought with the wrap, the ruffles on it, and yeah. So
I get tingles looking at her. We'll go into the details of her dress in a minute,
yeah,
but let's just get a
look at
close
her
up.
face.
And I
Look at
love
that
this.
face.
Like you said, this she's got that kind of quintessential, I'm the glamorous evil queen, and even though I'm bad, you all are going to love me. And we get to see a
Right?
little bit of that vine jewelry here.
Yeah. And the earrings too, like the vines kind of trails up the ear, and then she has the dangle with the stones in it. But you can really see the necklace. That's like a really good shot there. It's removable. You don't have to take her head off to put on that necklace. That's not a thing. It just kind of like slides on, and it's like a tension thing. But yeah, I just love her dark lip against that pale skin, and her icy blue eyes. I love icy blue eyes with black hair and pale skin.
It's
Um,
gorgeous. It can't
yeah,
be
I
beat.
worked with an actress years ago who was naturally looked like that, and I just thought she was the most fascinating. Like, I would just stare at her because she was so gorgeous. But
And let me just confirm with you, the skin tone is porcelain, correct?
yes, which we don't use very often.
No,
So
no, which is
it's
unfortunate, but I'm so glad that you brought it into this piece
yeah,
because it's
it's even,
amazing.
and for people who don't know, it's even more pale than the Japan skin tone.
Yes. All right, let's go
So
to the next slide so that we can get into this dress because, like you said, it's very hard to see. And when you guys get the email, you'll be able to kind of blow up the pictures and see
yeah,
more. But this is like, it reminds me very much of like vintage original fashion royalty in the level of detail. I know we're in new fantasy now, but just kind of
yeah,
harkening back to that, you've got this satin gown and you've got the shearing and you've got the embroidery that you designed and the
yes,
hand placed and rhinestones sort of encrusting the whole thing. I mean, just look around sort of the detail, the sheer, if you can see that embroidery, like it's really truly a work of art, Mark.
thank you. Yeah, it's loaded up, and so what I do, I designed all the embroidery on it, and I drew it out by hand. A lot of times we use computers and stuff for that kind of thing, but I find it just easier to do it more organically. So again, I used like plates and etchings from the turn of the last century as
Mm.
a starting point for the embroidery. Drew that all out on the patterns, and then the factory, you know, digitizes that and puts it in the embroidery. And I place where I want each rhinestone, and so it's a and yeah, like you said, like the classic FR, right? So I did want it to be also, I just wanted it to be a beautiful doll,
Yeah.
beyond the fantasy aspect of it. I think that she's just a gorgeous doll. Like you could see this at the Met Gala, I think. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
feels
I
like
mean,
something
yeah.
you could see. But yeah, it's like, so the dress is a red satin, and then it has the overlay, and then there's an overlay on top of the overlay that gives you the pulled drape up of the skirt, and then there's shearing on the bodice, and then a little touch of embroidery at the top of the bodice with stones. Yeah, I don't know. I really love how she came out because I just think she's really striking. I think she's I don't know. I think she's a showpiece.
Somebody's drawing a parallel to Megan Fox.
Oh, I could totally see that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's not where
Okay.
I went immediately, but that's an interesting reference.
I
I
could,
also want
yeah.
to point out, because we'll see it in the next picture, but before we move there, just take a look, guys, at like her forearms and the way that those incredible bracelets that we'll show you in a second are the vines are making their way up her arms to add sort of that, like, natural element in there, but obviously with authority element too, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I mean, I kind of pictured her like, creating her jewelry with vines and then it turns to metal around her wrist. I go off on all these tangents because that's the kind of that's the junk that I love to do and like think about the story of it, right? And I'm imagining this fierce witch walking through the woods and turning her vines into jewelry. But yeah. And then and I have her purse, like, I know we'll have other shots of the accessories, but her purse is it's a new metal purse mold and actually has stones and fill in it. So it's more detailed than some of the other metal purses we've done in the past. So
Yes,
I
and
love how
we're getting some notes in here, reminders of Givenchy, like circa funny face as well. So that kind of
Oh,
old
okay.
school glam,
Take the
sort of like,
picture.
yeah, like all different kinds of stuff going on in there. And just to confirm, the shawl is a separate piece, correct?
Yeah. It's not connected. It's really just this long stole, and the ends have these um, ruffles. I don't know. I couldn't think of something.
Beautiful, sort of like,
Beautifully sheared ruffles are on.
gathering. It's more of a gather than a ruffle, right? Like
It is a gather. Yeah, it's a gather. It's a very tight gather, and then it just creates this. I loved that it created this sort of soft, petally kind of effect.
Flowy, like it's almost like she's floating a little bit. Let's go to the accessories, because we, just to kind of get a close up so we can see the shoes, we can see the purse, we can see those amazing vine bracelets and necklace. Talk us through this.
Yeah. Okay. So she has the jewelry is all like a gunmetal tone, that sort of deep black steel kind of look to it. And the shoes have sort of a gunmetal. They're not a shiny silver. It's like a grade. I don't know how I've just always described it as gunmetal, that gunmetal gray, that metallic. But yeah, just a simple classic shoe, because I thought, she's got a lot going on, and I think they're beautiful, and that I think it's just what she needed. She's got a beautiful ring with the big stone in it, because I just think that's so witchy, like a giant, like
Like
I
it's
love
got
that.
like she can cast spells from the ring,
She can,
right? Yeah,
or it's one of the, I think it's called a Borgia ring, where it like flips open and then the poison comes out, like
exactly.
the powders in it or whatever. So I love
But
that.
just to clarify, this one does not flip.
It does not open. That's
Okay.
just like in my head. Like that's
the fantasy you can create in your mind.
exactly in your head. The ring is not hinged. We're not going to do that. That's a lot. And then she has I call them the spell casting hands, because they're all like, but they're the hand on hip hands, the posed with the manicured nails. Like I said, the purse opens, it's kind of like a little locket. So you could write a little spell and put it in the purse. And yeah, and then she's got the two spiral vine bracelets, and then there she is.
It's amazing. So as I'm getting some of the people saying like Snow White grew up, it's almost like Snow White grew up, went, being the evil queen's kind of cool. Maybe I'll check it out, right?
It really is. It's very much that. Like I can't lie that that wasn't coming into my head when I was doing her, because it's very much that. Where she moves into the castle after she's like, I'm not whatever with this cottage. Like that's great, but
maybe there are perks, and let me just try. I won't go too evil, but let's just dabble a little bit, and like
dabble in it. She kept the dwarves around. The prince is there. It's all good, but she's like, don't mess with me.
Yeah. So this is truly spectacular. And as I said, you guys are going to have to look at the pictures we sent you and blow them up to see the amount of handwork. I mean, this is a very, very detailed, hard to construct gown, like just really gorgeous couture gown. So let me tell you about selling and pricing. So we have this year, as we said, sort of two tiers of pricing. There's the MSRP, and then in many cases, there's going to be the club price. So the MSRP on this is $220, but for the club members, the special club price, Integrity was able, like the other ones, to keep it at $199. So the same as the other, the same as the other ones. So it will be for club members. And what we're going to do, there are 1,500 pieces, and we're going to do it via a lottery, and all of the pieces will be made first available to W Club members via lottery. So if it sells out, you guys will have a chance to get, or to enter to purchase one per membership, again, at $199, 1,500 pieces. If there are any that remain afterwards that end up getting sold to the public, that will be at the higher price. But the club price for you guys, and all of these details will be in the email. Again, is we're keeping it constant at that $199, same as last year. 1,500 pieces. Lottery will send you the details on that afterwards. So, Mark, we're going to see you for Q&A. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, but holy smokes, just what a beautiful incarnation. Obviously, I'm totally biased on the sculpt because the Carol Roth doll is the Anya sculpt. So, the pale Anya's, I'm biased, but she's mythical, she's magical, she's charming, a little bit evil, but just love her. She's amazing. So we will see you back here in a moment for Q&A. But we got more dollies to reveal.
All right, go look at the dolls. Go show everybody the dolls. Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit.
We'll see you in a second. All right, guys. So, woo, that's a great way to kick things off. And we are now going to go in a totally different direction. And I think you're going to be really excited with our next special guest who will help us unveil the next two dolls. And with that, let us bring in Mr. Jessy Ayala. Jessy.
Carol, how are you?
Hi, Jessy. How are you? You guys are looking so handsome today. I love the jacket.
I have to do shiny to distract, that's how it works.
So, you look like you are in a slightly different, just like Mark. Mark was in a little bit of a different environment. Are you in a different place today too?
Yes, I'm in my new office studio space, but it's before I'm done anything. I'm literally just moving my stuff in, so it's very bare and blank.
So this is cool. So this is the before, and you guys will get to see the after.
We'll see the after soon, I hope.
So for those folks who are new, we got to introduce Mark. Do you just want to introduce a little bit about yourself and what you work on?
Yeah, so welcome new club members. Glad to have you. I'm Jessy. I work on fashion royalty and new face. And those are the ones I primarily designed since like 2017, 16-ish.
It's amazing. We got to see some of your beautiful upgrade work. So thank you so much for our gorgeous, was it Eden, right? It was Eden and Agnes. Yeah. The twins, I always get them confused. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Thank you.
And, what have you been up to before we get into the dolls?
I've just pretty much have been, I guess, kind of marinating, I would say. I've been describing it as that. Just kind of reshifting my creative energy into a little bit more different outlets, but at the same time, they're all doll related, so it all kind of intermingles. I guess I feel like I'm on the shift of an aesthetic change. I feel I've been.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. That's what the universe is telling me. So.
All right, so Jessy is like working with the universe and might have a little different aesthetic as we move throughout the year. So that's good.
It's happening organically, but I'm able to see that that's what's going on. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, today, obviously, we're here to meet two new face dolls, which we're very excited about. If we can kind of pull up our little starter slide there. Do you want to give us, just from a macro standpoint, your inspiration for this capsule of two dolls? And if we can get our tech team to just pull up our little new face slide while you do that.
Yeah, that's. So these dolls started kind of as a I've been doing a lot of continuation because we are not doing full big collections like we used to. And I think like by releasing a couple here and there, I think that's the perfect opportunity to elaborate on some of the ideas that, you know, were introduced like a little bit ago. So these two stem from the Mademoiselle twins. So that kind of like faint Rococo inspiration, but without it being like costumey and more in the context of, I guess, you know, more modernized street style, like more of a youthful approach to it. And I designed these like shortly after I did the Mademoiselle twins, but here we are, like just now coming out with them. But I'm so excited. I'm really excited for you to see the last one, especially. But anyways.
Okay. So before we get to the second one, we have to get to the first one, who I
Exactly.
adore. Before we get to that, just tell us our inspiration for this particular lovely gal that we're about to see.
So for this girl, I wanted to touch more on, you know, a little bit of a more of a masculine edge to her, because with the Mademoiselle twins, I did them very, very girly and sweet and innocent, cute. But this one I wanted to have more of how I think girls dress now more these days, where it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit, you know, blurring the gender lines. So yeah, that was the main inspiration point. Again, with the tonal colors, I wanted to add like little touches of pastel, similar to the Mademoiselle twins, to kind of keep that look and aesthetic going for these. So
All right. So are you guys ready? We're going to get to see a girl that a lot of folks have been asking for in a totally new light. So let's meet Mademoiselle Anique. Yay!
I know I've been getting like, where's Anique? Where's Anique? It's been a while since I've seen her, but yeah, I wanted to bring her out. This is a very new look for her. She's never really been in this range of skin tone. It's always been like towards the darker spectrum, deeper skin tone. So, I mean, you know me, I love to play around with the skin tone. So I was like, okay, she needs to live in this little space for a minute. And I just think that skin tone looks super pretty with the baby blue. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, so the first, when I saw this picture as we were putting this together, I melted because she just looks so beautiful in the skin tone. It's such a look that we haven't seen from her before. And the way that you sort of melded it with the pastels and the neutrals, she is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I want to get to the next slide because we get to see more of her outfit and we get to see a little bit more of her. Again, as you always do, incredible details, and you guys will see more of this in the pictures, but walk us through some of the elements of this gorgeous lady.
Yeah, so the first of all, like what you didn't see in the first slide, is she's wearing this oversized suit jacket, and it has a lot of mesh detailing. Like on the lapel, there's like an overlay, and in the cuff, there's, you know, a little bit of that peeking through. It's very oversized, so it goes over her fingers. You can't see in this photo, but it actually has these Baroque style pearls. They're this natural shaped pearl at the front closure. It's like a double breasted situation, and on the back of the sleeve. The pants, you know, they have a little bit of a low rise, and you'll see in another picture, but at the bottom, you know, they tie with this little belt detail. You could take that off and it could just become like a
Really? So those are they're fully removable. They're not attached.
Yeah, there's like a little belt loop right where I wanted it to hit at the cinch.
Oh my
so
gosh.
You can take that off and steam it, press it to get rid of the wrinkle, of course, and then it becomes like a wider leg pant. More cropped length, but
how
so I mean, I like to have that little play value in my dolls as much as I can, to give you the options to create slightly different looks. Oh, and obviously I can't forget about the corset, this little baby blue organza, and it has grosgrain ribbon stitched on top to give those seam style details and like kind of like a boning effect, if you will. And it has like a more of a lower front, so it can actually go over the pant and create like this. You'll see in the next slide, this little cute situation going on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's amazing. And I didn't even know about the pant, that you could take it from, you know, what is obviously a very popular trend that I see everywhere in fashion with the belted ankles. I didn't realize you could take that apart and now you can have a wide leg pant. But how amazing is this, and all the different pieces that you can pair with other things, and the fact that it's neutrals, even with the pale like accent to it. This is going to pair with so many different things to make so many different looks, whether you choose to keep it with a Nique or another doll. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. And her handbag is like a metal handle, but it's in the shape of a little ribbon, kind of like a little ribbon floating in the air. That's that silhouette.
It's amazing. I want to talk, let's get to her face, because again, she is like, we've seen like a very hard edge from Nique before. She's like very much, that club girl. And she's like, and this is such a soft, beautiful side to her. I'm just like in love with what you've done here.
Yeah, the last time I saw her was in Counterculture, and she had a very specific look with that, vibrant blue lip and braids and all that business. But that, of course, was to suit that collection. But this time around, I wanted to give her still like a little bit of a sultriness going on, but more of a powdery grayish blue eyeshadow and like a pretty just nude lip, a little bit of gloss, just very clean look with her little baby hairs and yeah. Very little sweet.
And let's talk about hairstyle. Pigtail. Yeah, this is sort of like an interesting, different look for the braids than we've seen before, and it's just so pretty and suits the whole look so well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've been kind of on like a little pigtail kick where I was at that time. So I wanted to give a little variation on that hairstyle with like the rope twist braid, and that kind of mimics like the little swing she was on. So first of all, like I guess I should say, in my mood board, I had this painting called The Swing, and it's kind of one of the signature pieces of that Rococo era, and it just has like this woman on a swing with this billowing gown, and just like the colors are all pastel and whatever, like greenery all around. So that was kind of like in the back of my mind. I actually made that little swing, like I arts and crafted it. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to mimic that rope texture. Again, these little things I think about and just.
So what we love about you is you have so many details, and every detail has a story and a reason and a purpose, and it just elevates the whole look and the whole experience of owning a doll like this, which is amazing. Let's move to the next slide, and so we can take a look at some of these wonderful accessories. You can see that amazing purse, which I love, and her neck flower and the multiple hands and all of this good stuff.
Yeah. So in this picture, you can actually see like the pants, so a little bit more on the hip. The front of the corset can pop out from under the waistband and stick out. And I love this little like relaxed, sexy, cool vibe that she has going on, in juxtaposition with the little frilly flower. I don't know. I like to mix a lot of those different energies into one look.
No, it's true. You do get this sweetness, from her makeup palette and from the flower and even the corset. And then, some of these, like slightly more masculine elements when they just blend together, in a way that just is, it's high fashion. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And this is, somebody's asking the name of the series. This is part of the Mademoiselle collection, correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. So let me tell you guys a little bit about the selling on this. So as we said, we're kind of switching things up. Normally, like last year, I think that the new face dolls went to dealers. It's going to be a little bit different this year. So with this new club structure that we're doing, the edition size, very generous, with the size of the club, continuing to grow always. So we're doing 2,000 pieces. So I think a nice generous edition size. So hopefully people who want this will really be able to get it. And we are doing most of the edition size, which is going to be available for the club and the lottery, and a small portion available for the public. So for the club lottery, that's going to happen first. And again, there's two different price tiers. So the public pricing for that small piece that's going to be set aside is going to be $180, but for the club members, it's going to be $160, so that you guys get, again, that special pricing. So we're going to do the lottery first. We're going to have the information that we send out to you right away. And then once that is done, we'll send you information on the public piece. You guys will have an opportunity, if you don't, for whatever reason, get it in the lottery, to participate in the public piece. And if you have not gotten one at the 1 per membership at the club price, you will also be able to get your club pricing, whether you get it during the lottery or during the small public allotment. So again, this is to help club members. So your price is going to be $160. So more on that again in the emails. And again, this is new, so we're all just trying to work through this. But hopefully that's very exciting for everybody. And Jessy, it's so great, and we've had so many people asking for Anique, and to just have her come back in a way that's so surprising and so fresh is wonderful. And with that, let us get to the second doll. And let's talk about the inspiration, because I think this is going to be a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, so this particular doll, I'm so excited to show you guys because it's been in the works for a while. Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this is a little bit different because it's Monsieur instead of Mademoiselle. So it's a new male character that I have been working on for a while. I kept it very hush-hush because I didn't want you guys to be like, where is he, where is he? But I just wanted to take the time to kind of perfect him and introduce him in a special way. So
very exciting. And so what was particularly your inspiration for this character, this new male doll to be a part of New Face? What's his backstory? What's his deal?
So he is Brazilian Italian. He was, I guess you could say he was discovered by Isabella, which now is kind of doing more collaborative work with Lucas. More later, but he's this kind of emerging multimedia artist, it boy, and yeah, he's just cute and good looking. So yeah, this is his first campaign, and I don't know if you remember the storyline from the Mademoiselle twins, but it was kind of they were in this perfume campaign, so he's kind of introducing their more masculine scent. So yeah, that was the inspiration for him. And I kind of wanted him to have like a dandy kind of aesthetic for this particular shoot. So yeah.
All right, so are you guys ready to meet Monsieur Tiago Valente? How did I do with the pronunciation, Jessy?
Perfect.
Yay, he is so handsome. And, Lucas has been like tearing things up. So Lucas needed some competition, and this guy is serving. So talk to us about it.
Yeah, Lucas needed a little bit of help. He's like, somebody needs to come in and fill these male modeling spots for me a little bit. No, but he is in this pastel tonal violet-y look. He has more pieces you'll see in the other shots, but I just wanted him to have like this demi-couture kind of look and feel to his outfit with really lush fabrics like the organza and this textured kind of satiny corset and the dress pant. But you can see that he also has a little pearl detail, which I've been calling him in my mind the boy with the pearl earring.
And this, just to clarify for everyone, this one is on a own body, correct?
Yes, correct.
So
correct.
him and Lucas can share some clothes.
They can share clothes, definitely. There's a lot of match possibility with him as well.
Is he sharing anything else with Lucas, or just clothes for now?
Just clothes for now.
All right, well, we'll get more on that later. Let's get to the next slide so that you guys can see the whole look, because again, Jessy always gives us so many details, and this guy is such a heartbreaker and has like this amazing look with like so many details. I can't even believe it. So walk us through this.
Yeah, I wanted this very dramatic silhouette for him, so I wanted the coat to have like a trench coat feel to it, but a little bit more of sportswear elements, and you can see that with like the knitting and all those little gold hardware details and just like the construction of it. But I wanted, like, again, continuing with that neutrally soft palette that Anique had, but this one more of an ecru off-white kind of color, playing along with like the pastel tones from the gloves. Those gloves are actually flocked to give a velvet texture.
So cool. So cool.
I think this is the first time we've done that, and I was like playing around with that, and I was telling Elaine, I was like, is this possible? Let's try it out. Like, so I'm really happy with how those came out. The belt, the little metallic touches. Those shoes are actually clear vinyl, and you're seeing white because of the socks under there. What else? What else can I say about him? gold jewelry,
There's
mismatched earrings.
There's so much to say. We could spend like 10 years on the construction of the coat, you know, with the way that you've done the sort of like shawl color and the belt, the fold on the pants, the corset, the sheer top. I mean, the clear combat boots. Like that, like there's so many things to talk about here.
Yeah, and basically I'm living vicariously through him too, because I would wear these pieces. like, okay, I'm gonna do him as stuff that I would wear and would like in my closet, so why not?
So this is like your alter ego. This is like your projection of like,
well, of course, but
or just your ego. One of the two. Maybe not your alter ego, just your ego.
Either one.
He's amazing, and he is in the sun-kissed skin tone, correct?
Yeah, sun-kissed. I wanted his introductory doll to have like this bronzy, very sun-kissed kind of vibe. Very Brazilian. He's Brazilian, Italian. I said that already, but just wanted this olivey kind of complexion, more of a like that. That's going to be his signature. He'll veer off into different, looks eventually. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yes, amazing. All right, so let's get a close up on him because he is a new sculpt, and you can just see how hot this guy is. This guy is a babe.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I started 2019 or so on his sculpt. So it was a process, but I love his mouth. Like, his mouth is my favorite part. I love that slight part and that little pout. And I wanted him to look very young because, in contrast, Lucas can look a little, not old, but more severe, more angular. I wanted his features to be a little bit more rounded, just so I have, like, both options for the time being.
My favorite comment, I'd date him. Yeah, me too. He's gonna have a lot of competition. Those gorgeous lips and
those new face girls.
He does have that sort of like more youthful look, but like not too young, just kind of like a vibrant, youthful, like I'm here and I'm gonna have a fun time.
Exactly.
He's amazing. All right, so let's get to the accessories so that you guys can see, because you've got to see the amazing flat gloves, those clear combat boots, all the different little pieces that we have going on here.
Yeah, the pearl detailing I wanted to, I mean you've seen this everywhere in like street style and like the previous few seasons, like all the guys were wearing pearls, and when I designed this was like, I was feeling that for him, and I was like, oh, we haven't done this, so let's pick up on that. And it also lends very much to that time period that I was trying to evoke and bring into the context of today. The gloves are like this really pretty sagey green. I love that combination with the violet, and violet's my favorite color. Purple, any purple tones.
It's gorgeous. And again, I love the pieces because, particularly for anybody who got the Lucas Weekender gift set last year, that's going to be coming out later this year, or, if you collect other male dolls, to share these pieces. There's so many pieces here. Don't forget that gorgeous coat that's not shown, that, you're going to have so much play value with this one. And what a wonderful introduction to something I know you've been working on for a very long time. Is very important to you, Jessy. So thank you for that. Let me tell you guys again about this. So very similar to Anique. We saw this doll, said he is amazing, or fashion figure, I guess we call him. And, we knew people were going to want access to him. So the same thing, it's going to be a 2000 edition size, and it's going to be sold similar way to Anique, where most of it's going to be available through the lottery with a small portion set aside for the public. And same pricing. So the public pricing on it is $180, but the club pricing is $160. And if you get in the lottery, it's $160. If you're not able to get into lottery and you are able to get in the public, you will still keep your $160 price. One per membership, and more details again on all of that. The public stuff we won't talk about in the emails because we're going to do the lotteries first. But hopefully this gives a ton of collectors the opportunity to own these gorgeous dolls. And let's show, if we can, the next slide. All of what we've shown today is such a wonderful kickoff to the start of the year. And Jessy, thank you for your piece of that. It's amazing.
Of course, thank you.
We do have a question. Does he come with socks?
Yes, he does. He comes with socks.
Comes with socks, so you can have the clear on his shoes without the socks.
Yeah, we don't want any of that sweaty foot business going on with this clear boots.
If you're worried about him sweating, you can put the socks on. Amazing, amazing. So if you guys, if we can welcome Mark back in, I know you guys may have some questions or comments about these gorgeous dolls. Again, we'll be putting out the emails for all of you to review. But amazing dolls. Mark, what do you think of these new face dolls?
Gorgeous. The new boy he's so pretty.
Yeah, you got a crush on him too?
I'd date him. Yeah, I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers.
We would all do.
And I love Anik in the lighter skin tone. I think
right?
her sculpt is so pretty. She looks like Isabella's younger sister. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, I can see
I feel like she has that yeah. No,
yes.
beautiful.
So the Anik, we're getting a question on Anik's skin tone, and that is light honey?
Yes, that's correct.
Light honey, and her hair is deep sable.
Deep
so
sable.
gorgeous.
It's like a chestnutty brown.
Yes.
It's a mixture of browns.
So Jocelyn Earl is asking for Tiago, does he have normal hands as well?
Yes, he does.
So he's got a pair of regular hands, and then he's got these amazing flock gloved hands, which is fabulous. For Anna Geber, who's just joining, so the new fantasy is Anya, and she again is in this gorgeous porcelain skin tone, which is very underused. We're so glad that Mark brought it back, but just completely gorgeous. And Tiago is in the sun-kissed skin tone, and all of these details we'll have for you guys in the email that will come out, within, I'd say, an hour or so after this event. And again, because we're doing the different lotteries, things are coming out at different times, so you'll just have to kind of look out. I think Tiago is just about here, so he's going to be available, right away. Anik is coming out later in the summer, and Anya, I'm not sure. I think a little bit later in the year as well. So you guys will be able to see that. So Tiago, I think you pay in full, and the other two are going to be deposit only. People are really excited, guys. Like, great jobs, great jobs. We have a question, Mark. Are you doing any male witches at this point?
No. There's one more that's coming out in the series. That'll be the final one in the series, and it's female as well, and it's a doll of color.
Yes. We've got a question from Joan Delbas. The body that Tiago has is 1.5.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So that is correct, and that will give him the opportunity to share clothes with those other boys, including Lucas.
I just thought too, like, this coat would look so cute with the Lucas outfit, with the little sage green pants and the little sweater and this. Yeah. Had an idea.
Some comments that are very positive, but also inappropriate. They are for the W Club After Dark, so we'll let you guys read those on your own. But all good about the hotness of the dolls. Any other questions, guys? Oh, we've got just a shout out to you, Mark. Please never stop the new fantasy, because you're doing such a great job with it, and I concur.
Thanks. I'm not doing it next for the next release is not designed by me though. So there's one more witch coming out for New Fantasy, and then the next installment of New Fantasy is not me. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but just to let you know right away.
People are asking a little bit, Jessy, about Tiago, and whether it's like the mood boards or the sketches. I know you probably don't have them with you now, but is there anything you can tell us about things that you've been inspired by that have helped sort of create these very modern looks?
I don't have any mood boards on me, but I had on my mood board, I had a lot of images that were very powdery and more like paper magazine editorials where, the guys are just like super young and they have feminine touches in their outfits and just the way that the editorials are styled. So a lot of flowers and jewelry and pearls, and that was just kind of like, I go by the ambiance of my mood board, I guess you can say, not super specific things. I don't know if I'm describing that properly, but that's what I do.
Jessy, Karen would love to know more about Tiago's hair.
So it's the same hairstyle actually as Lucas. So it's flocked on the top and then it's sprayed at the sides to create like this, buzzed effect, similar to like what we do with beards. And it ends in a point in the back. It's the exact same hairstyle, just applied to him.
Amazing.
Slightly different color.
Just because we always like to take feedback, we're having Ziba Poor is asking for you to make a prince or a king collection as a possible inspiration. So just throwing that out there in the fantasy realm as well. The pant cuffs is a good question from Cynthia Wilson, Jessy. So that big cuff that we have, is that a stitched cuff, or how does that work on the pant?
No, so there's a
Santiago.
there's a little. Oh, on Tiago. Oh, yes, that is actually just turned up, but it is, seamed in. Because you can't, on dolls for some reason, when you turn up the thing, you get this weird collapsing going on. Like, you can't just do it like our jeans where, like for people jeans where you just turn it up. So yes, it is seamed.
Amazing. Obviously, we're asking questions about other characters. Like we said before and at the beginning of this presentation, we put out a couple characters at a time for each release. There are more characters coming, there are more dolls coming, so you're going to see a lot more, and not every release is going to have everything everybody wants to see. But if you have favorite characters, I'm pretty sure the guys know. You guys know, right? You know some of these names that they're asking for, right? So don't worry. And again, this is a perfect example where people have been asking for Anya, they've been asking for Anique, who we haven't seen in a while, and then a new character. So this is shaking things up. Obviously for our upgrade dolls that you just had, we had more collector favorites. So this is a way to mix things up to try to kind of get to everybody's favorites. You can't do it all at the same time each time, but over the course of the year and over multiple years, we're able to do that. So it's amazing. So let's see if we've got any last questions. Mark, the dress, is it with hooks in the back, or is there a zipper in the back?
It's hooks. I love zippers on dresses, but sometimes they break. So I tend to use more hooks just because it lets people put them on different dolls without having to force that zipper up and possibly pull it off. So
damage it.
Amazing. Well, this has been incredible. We have this beautiful sort of classic return to FR detailing with new fantasy. We've got a new character, a new look for Anique. Beautiful, beautiful work, you guys. Before we wrap things up here, and so we can get the information about how everyone can buy this out to everybody, any final words? Mark, final word from you?
Just thanks for everybody that joined again this year and for taking time out of your Saturday in all these different time zones to come hang out with us. So thank you.
It's great. And Jessy, any final words from you?
Just thank you for tuning in. Welcome new club members. I'm debating if I should have the boy here. I'm like,
oh, can you show us? Can you show us the real? Okay, wait. I know Mark doesn't have his doll, but before we wrap things up, let's
okay,
do
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
A big thing on Jessy if we can here, and let's see if we can we put him up in the main screen by himself. Oh, yay!
Okay, that's
wait,
it.
That's it. That's all we get. No, we need face. Come on. Wow. Oh, incredible, Jessy. Yeah. And do you have Anique or just
Thank you. Oh, I do, but I guess you guys can see her too. See, this is what I'm talking about, those little pearl detailing. Don't mind the ribbon. She looks bloated there, but
all right, so you guys got a little bit of a hint. If you can bring us all back for a second, a little bit of a hint. Thank you for reminding me of that, Jessy, because I was so overwhelmed.
No, I almost forgot because I'm obviously getting caught up in all of our talking, but I was like, wait, should I be nice? And I guess.
Yeah, no, amazing. So you guys, if you didn't get a chance to see that really well, you can go back. This video will be available and you can get in Zoom, stop it, see everything that you want. But I just want to thank you again. This is so much fun. Thank you to Mark and Jessy for your incredible talents and for spending your Saturday with us. And to all of you guys who are here with us live, or if you're watching, you couldn't join us live, thank you so much. We have a lot of stuff to release in the next, call it 6 to 8 weeks. So we'll be seeing you again, probably sooner versus later. But more to come, and just really excited for this club year. If you have any questions, of course, you can reach the liaisons at wclub@integritytoys.com. They are not working over this weekend other than just doing this. They're not going back to the box after this. But we'll be able to answer on Monday, and you'll have some time to enter those lotteries that we'll put forth. So you'll have all that information soon. But from the W Club at Integrity Toys, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.